Hello and welcome again. Did you know that many properties lose value during the holiday? And there's a lot of opportunity in the festive season. Today, we're going to turn the tables and share some wonderful information with you today about the holiday season. Hello and welcome to Mind Renovation Nation, your show brought to you by Red Maples, the institutional style property management company for your small multifamily needs. I'm your host, Nathan Bush, and on each show, we share real life lessons from our real estate experience. We invite industry experts, innovators, and those that are just interested in real estate investing altogether to join us on our journey here. We designed this show to answer the questions you have about reaching your market, setting up effective management systems, and maximizing your returns. If you want to know more of these types of resources, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel or head over to www.nathanbushmba.com/subscribe. And there you can check out other resources in the links down below. If you have questions today, at any point during the show, what I want you to do is go ahead and submit them online. It is really beneficial whenever the viewer has a question for us, and we're able to answer those questions and share those answers with people in our community. So if you do have a question, feel free to put it into the chat and share it online. All right, so today, what are we talking about? We are talking about this right here, the holiday special show, maximizing your property's value during the festive season. I'm going to be real careful on the language that I choose to use today. Around this show. I call it a holiday show. I call it festive season. I'm being very careful throughout the entire show, and we'll see if I'm able to maintain it without breaking any fair housing laws. So I want to keep that at the forefront of your attention. You want to run all marketing opportunities, efforts, and thoughts that you're having by your broker first, and your broker needs to run them by your attorney to make sure that you're not in violation of any fair housing laws in real estate market and real estate investing. But we're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about what to do during the festive season. But I would be remiss if I didn't bring back my sponsor. Red Maples are the ones that make this show possible. And they are your go-to source for institutional style property management. We show you real estate investors how you can turn double-digit returns with your small multifamily portfolio. Go to www.redmaples.com/assessment, and we can complete a free comprehensive assessment for your real rental portfolio. We'll look and review a budget, rental comps, 3 finance ratios, and other metrics, and we can provide this report to you for free, but you have to go to www.red-maples.com/assessment. All right. So guys, I'm going to share with you some insights into this festive season, into utilizing the holidays during this season in order to generate some increase in your business. I'm going to pop some hypothesis up on the screen. I'm going to call it a hypothesis because these metrics have been measured at different times, but they haven't been measured this season. And so I'm going to call it a hypothesis, and that I believe that you can get this if you choose to do these things. There's 2 different case scenarios up on the screen. The first case scenario is property A. Property A has a increase of an occupancy rate because they leverage these holiday opportunities by 5% compared to non-holiday months. Property A has tenant satisfaction that increases by 10%, and they see an increase in renewals on property A. On property A, you're able to get a rental premium 3% on new leases higher than you can in the non-festive atmosphere properties. And property A, you have a 15 to 18-month lease opportunity to put them back into the general leasing season. Whereas property B remains consistent with no seasonal increases. Property B stays at base level with no significant change or review. Property B sees rental rates that maintain standard pricing without any seasonal adjustments. And the length of this lease is 12 months. And then you get to do this whole thing all over again. My question for you is, which property do you want? Do you want property A or property B? It's a great question. Over my rental career, I have been able to test a lot of different things. In fact, when you have 5,000 single family homes, you start to become pretty creative on the ways that you utilize seasonal festive things, and they're all remote. Everything's remote, so you got to be able to make this work on mass scale and in large places. Now, I've also been able to test this on some small multifamilies, and we've been able to see different increases at different times. Those are a comprehensive kind of conglomerate style of some of the results that we have seen at different times. And so what does that look like if we were to chart property A versus property B out for you? Well, I put a bar chart. Sorry if you're listening online and not watching and can't see the screen, but there is a bar chart online for those people that are interested in data that shows a percentage of increase of occupancy rates, tenant satisfaction, and rental premium with festive property landlords versus non-festive property landlords. And we talked about in the last show the trends in 2023, and people are looking for what during this time? They're looking for a sense of community. They're looking for a place where they can feel like they're going to connect with the people around them. They're looking for those shareable amenity opportunities, those experiences, not just an apartment anymore. And so it's really important that we take the time as a property management organization and start to become and have an understanding of how to be festive without being discriminative. And so property A, well, you get some major increases with property A. Property B sits vacant. Property B has challenges. Property B doesn't attract tenants during this time. Property B ends up being a little bit less valuable. And I want to prove this concept with you. Now, understand that this is my daughter's story. My daughter wrote this, and I'm choosing to read this to you only to set an atmosphere, only to set a spirit around the show today. There's no specific religion involved in this. There's no specific ethnicity. There's no specific references other than United States cultural reference to Christmas. And that's why I chose to read this online. She wrote this holiday story right here while she was at school this year. And I just thought it was so cute that I wanted to take some time and share with you my daughter's holiday story. The title of this story is Merry Christmas. And this is Merry Christmas from my 10-year-old at home. Here's what she wrote. She wrote, snowflakes were falling like a melting candle. The sun was gone. Outside was like a white sheet of paper waiting to be colored. Little did I know what was coming my way. Hey, Mom, can I leave cookies for Santa and carrots for the reindeer? I say, of course. Do you need any help? Mom questions. No, I got this. Hollering already in the kitchen. So I do my thing. That night, after I set out the cookies and carrots, I convinced my parents to watch the original Grinch. After that was over, my mama yawned. All righty, time to brush your teeth and pop into bed. Then I say kindly, okay. Then I slowly lollygag like a turtle. But I know that I love my parents, so I listen to my mama and dada. Then I grab a toothbrush and toothpaste, and I start brushing my teeth. Once I'm done, I walk back, twist and twirl, so excited for Christmas. It is one of my favorite holidays. My eyes go very heavy, and I did not want to say that I was very tired. Then just like that, poof, I was in bed faster than lightning. I was fast asleep, just snoozing away. Meanwhile, Santa was sneaking my presents under the tree. I woke up as fast as I fell asleep. I woke up about 7:35 a.m. I was so excited, I was practically bouncing off the walls when I went into my parents' room and exclaimed joyfully, "Can I go open presents?" My mom said with one eye open, "Yes, of course, we're coming." I ran to the tree once my parents got there. I started opening. Rip, 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 crumble, 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 rip, rip, rip. Once I thought I was done, I got up, and then my parents said mysteriously, "Go look under the fancy tree." Okay, I say with sugar in my mouth already. Then I find these two tiny boxes and grab them. I think I know what it is. Actually, I have no idea, I exclaimed. Rip, crumble, rip, a phone, I say with tears of joy streaming down my face, my voice cracking. It took me a hot second to cool down. After I stopped crying, we threw away all of the wrapping paper. We took the casserole out of the oven and ate the delicious breakfast casserole. It was one of those most exhilarating moments of my life. I know it because I feel, because it feels like when you hit the very top of a roller coaster and you're about to go down, down, down. Merry Christmas. That's from my 10-year-old daughter. She's incredible little writer. And I thought it was imperative today to utilize this story to showcase and explain to you the importance of creating this festive atmosphere. We want to build a festive atmosphere in a way that other people are attracted to it. You've got to be culturally relatable on your properties still. I'm going to call this the connection, retention, and urgency system. And this is just different ways that I look at and every year run through the lens on our properties of maximizing the property's appeal during the holidays. So here's the model, and here's how it lays out. Number one, you have to review the benefits of the holiday theme for self-guided tours. You have to create a welcoming atmosphere that's festive. You have to use effective holiday marketing strategies that will attract tenants to your property. You can look at this through the eye of leveraging seasonal discounts and promotions. You can look at this through marketing rental properties in the holiday season, and then tailor your rental strategy for holiday travelers. All right. So those are kind of the frames that create connection, retention, and urgency. You have the theme, you have the atmosphere, you have the strategy, you have the discount and promotions, you have the marketing of the holiday season, and you tailor all this to people who are interested in renting your rentals. How are we going to do all that? What is the process? What are some things, some tools, some resources? Well, I'm going to share with you some tactics that I have used historically in order to make this holiday season just that much more impactful, effective, and profitable for landlords. The first one here is around this theme. Increase your property's appeal and emotional connection and stand out in the market by attracting more potential customers. What are some ways to theme out your holiday, your property? Well, it depends on the size of your property. Number one, if you got to consider all of the different spaces and places that you could decorate. You need to consider your budget. You need to determine how much revenue you're willing to invest that month back into the property to cultivate this atmosphere so that the tenants feel much more comfortable and they are much more attracted to stay and retain in your property. Like sometimes you can get the tenants involved. You can create a holiday decorating contest, and whoever has the best decorations, maybe they win some type of prize if your property is large enough. You can go through and you can theme out just different buildings. One of the things that you can do is simply just hang some simple lights. So you got to create this theme on what you're going to do. You got to sit down and theme it out. Are you going to have a all one color style theme? Are you going to build out a theme around multicolors? Are you going to build out a theme around a winter wonderland? What is the theme that you're going to choose? Are you going to build a theme of giving? What is it? Theme it out. Make a decision on what you're trying to achieve. Just like this show's been themed out as a holiday show, you got to theme out your rental property. The next part of this process is this atmosphere, this festive atmosphere. What do you do to create the atmosphere? Well, you've got to decorate with tasteful, universal, holiday-themed decorations. You've got to offer seasonal refreshments, maybe play holiday music. Use warm lighting and create cozy environments in some of your community spaces. When you do this, people are going to feel in the holiday spirit. Why do you think that stores around the nation decorate during the holidays, retail locations? Well, it cultivates this buying atmosphere. It creates this urgency around the holidays. It creates a sense of belonging and that you want to be there and spend money. Travis has this to say online. Thanks, Travis and Dennis, for joining me for my holiday special, by the way. Travis says, property A for me, please. Fantastic girl and a great story. And Dennis had this to say. You can get a lot of Christmas decorations at Dollar Tree So it doesn't have to be super expensive. I totally agree with that, Dennis. But it's important that you first theme it out and that you're designing and cultivating and creating this welcoming atmosphere where you're playing holiday music. Maybe you're offering some seasonal refreshments. Maybe you're generating a sense of lighting. If your property is large enough and you do have an on-site bar, like I demonstrated in the last show, you might think about offering seasonal eggnog at this time, or just different things that create that holiday spirit, that holiday atmosphere where people are interested in being a part of that community. Now, once you have themed out your self-guided tours, once you have created a welcoming atmosphere with the holiday music and the cozy refreshments and all of those types of things at your office, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to look at strategies. You're going to utilize holiday-themed visuals for online. You can also engage potential tenants through social media, holiday campaigns, posts, and photos, and highlight property features that are appealing in holiday context. For instance, highlighting the fireplace, highlighting the spacious areas, highlighting that you're just minutes away from the Fox Theater for a lot of their holiday-themed presentations that are going on. Making sure that you're integrating the holiday into your marketing strategy. I mean, think about this show for just 1 second, the cultivation and accumulation of this show. We put together a holiday show for you on December 22nd, 2023. Why? It takes a second, but if you think about it, there's a reason that people use the holidays as a marketing tool, and you don't have to be afraid of the holidays and steer away from it because of fair housing. You can lean into the housing. You just need to do it in a culturally appropriate and a non-discriminatory way. All right. How about this? Leverage seasonal discounts and promotions. That's another tool that you can use. Offer a limited time holiday discount to create urgency. Promote a holiday special and incentives, move-in incentives. Look for assistance for the new year. So you can create some type of move-in discount. You can create some type of retention discount. You can create 15 and 18-month leases so that you don't have a holiday vacancy again. These are the types of things that you're going to want to do with the seasonal promotions and discounts in order to be most effective and fill up your property during the holidays, retain tenants during the holidays. I don't know about you guys, but have you ever had a vacancy during the November, December, January season? This is not the best time of year to be vacant. And if you can utilize some of these holiday promotions and themes, what's impactful to me and what I have found out is that people tend to know that you care, and they can see that you care when you take the time to actually care about them and the property, what they're going to care about. And during this holiday season, a lot of people celebrate different types of things during the holiday season. And so it's important that you spend the time and you invest the time to show them that the holidays matter to you. By the way, these seasonal promotions and discounts, they ultimately create a sense of urgency for that person to make a decision. They could maybe wait till mid-January into February in order to make that move. But if they can get some money off, or they can see that there's a discount on the rent because they're going to go a little bit longer, they might make the decision to rent now, thus saving you a month or two in vacancy on that property. They might stay an extra year just because they saw the effort that you put into cultivating an atmosphere that's fun for them. The next thing in this model that we have laid out here for you is the marketing. So highlight the property's suitability for holiday gatherings, showcase the proximity to holiday attractions or amenities, and use competitive pricing. One of the things and big mistakes that a lot of people make during the holiday season is they think the rental comps that they pulled for last year when the property first went on the market in March, or they think that the comp that they pulled for the property in mid-July, they think that that rental comp is still accurate during the holidays. And oftentimes it will tell you that in fourth quarter, things tend to move a little bit more towards the affordability side. And the reason for that is that during the holidays, people don't like to move. So if you can cultivate the atmosphere and the experience for them to stay, they might stay one more year just because you're offering some type of discount for extended lease. They might stay with you because, you've invested in them and made them feel a little bit more important. Travis says, because you're a giver, your goal is to give back. And this holiday message helps every one person. That is success for Nathan and his team. Great team. Yeah, thank you, Travis. I appreciate that. But it's true. I mean, you want to make sure that you're giving back to the residents in the right way. Be intentional with your money. Be intentional with how you spend money, how you invest money, how you market with your money. Sit down and plan this stuff through. If it's not this year, then plan it through for next year. If it's not next year, utilize different things like the 4th of July holiday season when they come up mid-season next year to try some of this stuff out. See if it has an impact on your small multifamily property. But for right now, we want to make sure that we're cultivating this right atmosphere. We want to make sure that we showcase different holiday attractions. If you know local things in your market, guess what's going to be much more attractive to those residents whenever they're looking at rental listings? The local market. That's where they want to live. So do you know what's going on in the local market? And can you share it in a non-discriminatory way that's going to help them have an excitement towards renting that specific property or location? And then lastly, within this model, we call it the connection, retention, and urgency system. These create connection with your tenants. They create retention on the property, and it creates a sense of urgency to do business right now. So you want to tailor your rental strategy. So research your market rates and price competitively. Offer holiday-themed amenities, specifically decorations or entertainment options. Maybe a couple tickets to a show to take the lease before the end of the month. Maybe somebody's thinking about moving in at the end of January, and you want to get them to go ahead and move in a little bit sooner. If you can offer them a couple set of tickets and get them to move in a little bit sooner, maybe that would be something that they consider, because it's a little bit of a hassle to move during this holiday season. Nobody wants to move between Christmas and New Year's. Nobody wants to move on New Year's Day. Nobody wants to move the next day after New Year's, right? So these are things that you've maybe presenting these incentives and having these incentives in your back pocket open the tenant up to being able to want to do business with you that year. All right. So we've talked a lot about this connection, retention, and urgency system. And you guys know that typically on these shows, I don't go for too long. But on this holiday special, I thought it was important to bring to you not just the framework for how we do this, but maybe some specific things that I've tried in the past and have done that you might find to be beneficial for you. If that would be helpful, go ahead and type in the chat that this would be helpful for you. Knowing some community engagement things that you can actually do that are holiday themed and related that would help you. All right. Again, if you have questions, you can go ahead and put those in the chat as well. So how about organizing holiday events? One year, I remember that I was on property at a local property here in St. Louis. It was 725 units, and I dressed up as Santa Claus. I got to be Santa Claus that year, and we had all of the units be able to bring their children in for Santa Claus. We gave away a variety of different non-discriminatory gifts that were at that holiday party. We had some apple cider. I remember that was one of the drinks there. We laid out all the Christmas decorations. All the tables were decorated. Now, this was pre-COVID, maybe post-COVID. You have to have some wrapped food and stuff like that. But you can create a wonderful experience for kids in your community if you just create the holiday atmosphere. You can invite local vendors and entertainers to build a sense of community ties and build. And what does that do for you when you invite local vendors and entertainers into your community for your residents? Number one, it gives your residents a sense that you care because you're bringing in entertainers. You're bringing in people that support the building. But then one of the other things that I love about the concept of bringing in local vendors and entertainers is it's marketing for you. These are people that maybe would never consider living in your property, but now that you have created and cultivated this fun atmosphere, this wonderful atmosphere. I remember we had I think it was a window company where the vendor came to our holiday party. He started talking to one of us that were on site leasing the property, and he asked us how much the rent was. It turned into a conversation, a tour, and ultimately an application to rent the property. So bringing in and organizing these holiday events can be majorly beneficial. I appreciate you joining online too. I see you, Denise. And I appreciate you joining us for our holiday session of Mind Renovation Nation. Remember, we run Mind Renovation Nation every Friday. If you like this type of information and this has been helpful for you, maybe get your mind opened up to some different ideas and different ways to handle property investing and property management, Tune in every Friday. We'll have another show with more information that will help kind of stretch your imagination and kind of take your real estate investing to the next level. So today we're talking, though, holiday theme. We're talking about our model of connection, urgency, and creating just that connection, urgency, and that sense of retention for tenants on why they stay in the property. We call it the connection, retention, and urgency system. The next thing that you can do outside of organizing holiday parties is just participate in local activities, join community holiday initiatives or charity events, promote or support local holiday attractions within your community. By doing these things and offering the availability to do these things, it cultivates that atmosphere. I remember doing things like Toys for Tots is one of the drop-off locations in one of our apartment communities. We also, over the years, have raised money for people that don't have great Christmases, don't have the resources, the availability. There's a top 100 list that I believe that we picked a family on there, and we helped the community raise money for that specific event. It creates that sense, that overwhelming sense of just kindness, and shows your heart as a real estate investor. And remember, that's one of the biggest things that we have been trying to help you cultivate and understand, is that these are people that are living in your apartments. And yes, you need to make a return on your investment. In fact, that's why we underwrite every transaction at Red Maples. But it's a little bit more than that. These are people that this is where they're going to spend their lives. And when you can make the connection with them, they stay long term. And if they're thinking about renting for you, it cultivates a sense of urgency because they don't want to rent from the other landlord. They want to rent from the guy that cares about them. They want to rent from somebody who's taken the time to consciously think through these things. I mean, think about the last time you went into a beautiful hotel. All right. What was it that you loved about that hotel? Was it the decorations? Was it the smell? Was it the friendly people that were there? Or what was it that you loved about that hotel the last time you stayed there? What about a resort? Now, what I want you to do is think about a bad experience at a hotel or resort. Maybe you walked into a motel, or you tried to stay at a resort that wasn't up to your standards or stuff. What did you feel? You felt the difference. You felt the difference that they cared about you or didn't care about you, that they cared about the building or they didn't care about the building. You got to cultivate the same thing on your rental properties. You spend so much time running math on your spreadsheets on how much money you're going to make, and how much time do you spend investing in how much energy or what type of atmosphere you want to cultivate for your residents. You don't. And by not spending and engaging in that amount of time and putting the effort into those residents, they feel that. They feel that the only thing that you've invested your time in is that spreadsheet to determine what your return is going to be. And most of the time, your math's wrong. So let's make sure that we're spending time engaging, building people's lives, and doing the right things by people. Here's one of the last techniques that you can do that benefits for property owners. You can strengthen community relationships. You can increase the property's visibility and desirability by just taking time within your strategy to think about the resident, put the resident first, and ensure that that resident is cultivating a sense of community around your holiday season. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't take a second and thank our second sponsor, Web Insurance. Go to www.webinsurance.com and get a quote. Let Web Insurance be your guide. They can review your current coverages. They can make sure that you have the correct policies in place, the most affordable pricing. What's interesting is their clients love them. And every year, what's cool about Web Insurance is every year, if your premiums increase, they're going to shop those premiums for you to make sure that you have the most affordable, most accurate, and appropriate coverages for you. From contractors to real estate investors, let Web Insurance be your guide. Visit www.webinsurance.com to get a quote. All right, now back to the holiday special. Thank you guys for bearing with me on my sponsors. Those guys, you should support them. All of them, Red Maples, Web Insurance. These sponsors are what make this show possible for you. All right, now we're talking about enhancing property values through maintenance. This is a big deal. So we talked about the atmosphere, but one of the things that you got to use the holidays for is to enhance your property through maintenance. And this is a great time to consider some things. Number one, consider the role of professional property management. This ensures timely and efficient maintenance. You get expert and professional level oversight for crucial holiday tasks, and you get enhanced tenant or guest experience during the holidays because the management company, if they're good, will focus on these things for you and your tenants. It's extremely important that as a property manager, a professional manager, that you take time to lay out what you want to do from the perspective of the holidays and the tenant experience. All right. Essential holiday maintenance tasks. You saw them on the screen earlier, but here they are again. Some things that you can do during the holidays. Number one, the heating system checks. Yes, you need to do heating system checks. You need to make sure that you get in and check all of the heating and cooling systems in all of your vacant properties and as many of the occupied ones as you can. How about this one? Snow removal. At least on the larger apartment communities, you are responsible for snow removal. And so this is a make sure you have these things in place because it's getting ready to happen here in St. Louis. And the last thing is winterize your vacant properties. Don't let pipes bust. Don't let this atrocious thousands and thousands of dollars worth of expenses build up on you. You can enhance your value by just simply going into your vacant properties, winterizing them, and making sure they're ready for the cold weather. Now, there are some consequences of not doing these things, of neglecting this maintenance on your property. I have watched a 34-unit apartment community crumble in front of my face because an investor wouldn't put the money into the property. And what you see is decreased tenant satisfaction and potential safety hazards. It also, you see reduced property appeal to potential buyers and renters. If you don't put the money and the effort in the maintenance into the property, I guarantee you will not have that property very long. The last thing is to boost your property's appeal through the maintenance. Regular maintenance increases and preserves the property value, and it also makes sure that the tenants see that it's well maintained throughout the holiday season. You know, the worst stories that I have ever heard in my entire property management career was a family that was getting ready for, they celebrated Thanksgiving, and they were getting ready for their Thanksgiving meal. And this was 3 or 4 days before Thanksgiving, and their oven went out, and they called in a work order. Now, this was not my property management organization, but another property management organization, and the property manager let the oven sit. They didn't go fix the oven. Now, this tenant loved Thanksgiving. This was their thing. They had all of the people over to their house during the holiday season. It was extremely important to them to be able to care and to share during the time of Thanksgiving in their home. Well, this couldn't get done, number one, because there was nobody to take care of the maintenance request. All of the property managers in that company had taken that week off, and so there was nobody to take the maintenance request. The oven was called into the line. It was on a recording, and it sat there. What a tragic situation. And don't you think that that tenant's moving out? Well, don't let this happen to you. You can work with our next sponsor, BBC Global Services. BBC Global Services is one of the companies that we're grateful that we use at Red Maples. And they're an outsourcing organization that helps real estate investors like you focus on your superpowers. Simple and on your terms with no term limits or minimums, a VA can be gotten through BBC Global Services to help with these administrative tasks. They can coordinate maintenance work orders after hours. They can do a number of different things for you. You just need to reach out and have a free consultation with BBC Global Services, and they can walk you through all the different resources and how you can utilize them and how you can utilize them for these needs that you have as a property manager or an investor. So go to bbcglobalservices.com, and I'd like to thank that second sponsor, BBC Global. Again, these sponsors make this show possible, guys. All right. So I want to take a second during this holiday show and holiday season and give thanks. And why? Why is gratitude during the holidays so important? Here's what Oprah Winfrey had to say. She said, what you focus on expands. When you focus on goodness in your life, you create more of it. So let's take a second and let's have a gratitude moment. I'd like you to think for a second. What kinds of unexpected gifts did today bring you? What are some unexpected gifts that today brought you? What about this week, this month, or this year? Do you have any unexpected gifts that came this year? Any unexpected things that came into your life this past week, this past month? Think about them. If you have some unexpected things that happened in your life and you're watching the show now or on replay, put them in the chat. What are some of those things that you're grateful for this year? I'll tell you, one of the things I'm grateful for this year is my daughter discovered volleyball for the first time. It is such a fun sport. While most of you that have been following me or my career online or any of this stuff knows that my daughter took third in the world for black belts 8 and under girls, she now is into volleyball, and this year brought that to me. It's been really fun and exciting, and that's been a whole new endeavor. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the time I get to spend with her during that. I'm grateful for the family time that we've had this year. I'm grateful this show was cultivated and accumulated this past year. And so those are some things that I'm grateful for. So then I got to ask you this question. What part of your life or what part of your day do you dislike and why? What's the worst part of your life or your day? Or what is that thing that just it nags at you or bugs at you? For me, it's sometimes the commute to work. Sometimes it's, not having enough time to get the workouts in that I've wanted to. And so what does that part of your day or your life offer you that other moments don't? And so for me, that commute that I don't like, what that offers me is an opportunity to listen to more audiobooks. And so that's a perfect time and opportunity that I spend listening to audio programs. As for my ability not to work out as much, what does that offer me? Well, you don't think that there's a lot of benefit in that, but there really is, because I'm spending a lot of family time. I'm doing a lot of great work for you guys in the audience, putting in extra efforts to making sure that I have valuable content and able to build a show that's incredible and does a great job educating real estate investors on caring about tenants. And at the same time, helps those investors achieve their financial goals, because you can do both. So you look at the part of your day you don't like, you decide why you don't like it. Then you decide on what those moments offer to you that they don't. And then you think about how you can reframe it altogether in a different way. What are some ways that you can reframe your thoughts so that they go from a lack of gratitude to a lot of gratitude all in the same moment? So I'm going to reframe that thought process of driving to work. I love driving to work because I get to read hundreds of books, at least 50 books a year by having that commute time. I'm going to look at it like I get to design and develop and build great shows. The best way to think about it is I get to do what? What am I sacrificing in order to get what I want? Now, the cool thing is I just found out an opportunity for me to do some 5 and 10 and 15-minute workouts in the morning. So hopefully next year, you get to see this guy get slimmer on camera, and that'd be great too. All right, guys. You know that at Red Maples, we want you to invest with confidence, not just confidence tricks. So let Red Maples guide your real estate management so you can focus on your investments that work best. Subscribe for more insights and reach out for more property management excellence at Red Maples. We want you to join our community of savvy investors. How do you join the community? How do you join the Mind Renovation Nation? Well, the first thing is you share the show. You share the show. When you share the show, that automatically puts you as part of the community. The next thing you do is you attend the show. You join these lives. You participate in them. You have conversations. You, just like Dennis and just like Denise, who's online, and just like Travis, these guys are all part of this live show every Friday at noon, and they attend most of the times, and it's great. I appreciate having them here and sharing their insights and being a part of the community. So that's how you do it. And then lastly, you follow. So you can go to nathanbushmba.com/subscribe and subscribe to the show so you can get updates and different information from me from time to time. You can also subscribe through the YouTube channel. And that way you don't ever miss a show. Even though you might not see it live, you can go back and watch it on replay. And one last time, I want to make sure I thank my sponsor, Red Maples. Again, Red Maples makes this show possible for you guys. And if you're looking for an institutional style property manager who can help you achieve double-digit returns for your small multifamily real estate, there's no promise of return with Red Maple. There's just the understanding that they're going to do the math. They're going to walk through it with you. They're going to help you by going to red-maples.com. That's www.red-maples.com/assessment, and they will give you a free assessment of your real estate. So guys, I appreciate you joining me on the show today. This has been a little bit longer of a show. I've gone 41 minutes now, but I hope that you found the content helpful and exciting. I hope that you can recap and go back and listen and watch my daughter's story again. I wanted to make sure I captured that for all of infamy and all of time. Again, that was Merry Christmas by my daughter, Natalie. So appreciate her for doing that. And lastly, use these tips and tools, use these strategies, put yourself in a position to win during the holiday season. Don't just let the slowdown during the holidays be something that keeps your property from being even more profitable. I'm Nathan Bush. Thanks for tuning in to Mind Renovation Nation. You can catch this show every week at noon on Fridays. Thanks, guys. Have a good afternoon.